host, Outrageous Tyler. She was hot, dude. MCFC's Letterboxd year in review, a message from Jimmy Stewart and our most anticipated movies of 2025.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hawk to classmates. Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Tyler.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Pete.
We have a great show for you today. Welcome everyone on YouTube Live and otherwise. And of course, the OG audio only classmates in podcast land. It's great to be back on the beginning side of 2025.
Mm-hmm. Already
kind of sucks.
Angry Otter says, happy half decade of the first quarter century of the new millennium, guys.
No, I predict 2025 is going to be good for movies, but it is not going to be good for our general personal lives.
Like a week ago, you said that it was going to be the worst year in movies in a long time.
I know, and then I swiftly changed my opinion after reviewing a list.
Actually thought about it for more than 2 minutes.
Well, how was New Year's Eve day for both of y'all?
New Year's Eve day? Are you saying New Year's Eve and New Year's Day?
Both.
Yeah, both.
The New Year's celebration?
That's the 2-day celebration. It's New Year's Eve day.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, New Year's Eve day. Happy New Year's Eve day. It was fine on my end. It was cool. We just went
That's
to...
cool.
I feel like New Year's doesn't have the same like zhuzh that it used to.
No.
In your 20s.
No. I mean, I think it all changed when the 19 cloaked our land.
It all changed the day the Fire Lord attacked.
Fire
Nation attacked.
5 years ago. Well, it will be 5 years ago.
Yeah.
In
like a
March.
two
my
more
when it hit,
month or two.
when it was lockdown time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a half a decade ago.
What about you,
That's
Pete? Did you
crazy.
do anything for New Year's Eve?
I
New Year's
had to
Day?
work late New Year's Eve, and because at the end of the year, last day of the month, all that kind of stuff. And it was a challenging day at work, and then but I just stayed up with Brianna. We watched movies and stuff. It was a good time. Yeah, did nothing. Played Minecraft.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much what everyone did. But for myself too, because I worked a late night as well, because everyone wants their last minute 2024 packages.
They're ordering holiday poppers,
Those
and
deals.
noisemakers,
yeah,
End of the year sales.
glasses in the shape of 2025.
yeah, and they're ordering them in bulk too, so they're like 25 to 50 pounds each.
I'll take a gross of glasses that say 2025 on the frame. 144, please.
I'm investing in 2026 glasses right now.
Yeah, get them now.
Yeah, so well, we've made it to 2025. We're alive. We're
Against our own will, we've made it.
somewhat healthy.
Do you have something to tell us?
Somewhat healthy.
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
Is the gout flaring up again?
I don't have gout,
Hammer toes.
Like the trench foot is really bothering you.
Impacted molars.
I don't have impacted
Scabies.
molars.
Legionnaire's disease.
Scabies.
Polio.
I don't even think Brianna would let. I don't even think Brianna would let me drive like to the sidewalk if I had scabies.
Herniated disc.
Whatever Tiny Tim had.
Heart attack.
Tiny Tim disease.
Tiny Tim disease. No, I haven't been getting good sleep this whole week.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be on my A game, but you know, with that being said, let's get into some actual gab and chatter about movies.
Find some character in ye, lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
Gab and chatter, where we talk about movie news, movie discussions, or just what we want to talk about, movie-related, entertainment industry-related. Joseph, what do you have for us today?
No news. As the little intro to our this episode, we're just gonna go over. Well, at least I am, and Pete as well. I don't know about you, Tyler. I don't know if you have. I don't know if you have your 2024 stats of movies.
I can bring them up, but what you're gonna go over? Like, what you guys watch like over 500 movies? We're gonna go through a list of 500 movies.
Yep, ranking from 1 to 500.
All right, buckle in, classmates.
36 of my movies I will not rank. The other 500 I will.
yeah. But the Letterboxd Wrapped, which is actually a thing, is not out yet. It's
Yeah.
like coming out in a few days.
Yeah.
It's already 2025. What are they waiting for?
No, it's been 2 days. Come on, get on it.
I know. I mean, Spotify Wrapped came out at the beginning of December.
I know. They don't even let you finish the fucking year with Spotify.
I know. It's like, when do they start actually counting? I think Letterboxd goes all the way to the end of the actual year, the 31st of December, I believe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of skim over some of my stats. I don't know if you can get stats on just like the free version of Letterboxd.
No, you have to have the subscription. You don't. It doesn't have to be the high tier, but you have to have at least pay the whatever for the year.
It's like $20 or no, $9.
It's something like that. It's not a ton, but
Yeah.
you get really robust stats too.
$9. I can't afford that.
For a whole year. That's like, I don't know.
That's like $5 a month.
So the year 2024, I watched a total of logged films of 544.
Jeez.
Good for you. You beat me.
Yeah. I can't say that I would recommend trying to
All
do
of
that if you're not an avid movie watcher. I know Michael Elliott logs thousands of movies a year.
1,500 a year or something like that.
Insane.
1,800.
And now, like,
trying to look 'em up while you're talking.
75% of that is porn.
I know. He's not joking. It's like Porky Pig shorts and porn.
Yeah.
I love it, though. I love it.
Exactly. Averaging 45.3 movies per month and 10.4 movies per week. My first film of 2024, January 1st, was Iron Claw.
Cool.
The last film of 2024, December 30th, was the live-action Beauty and the Beast.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Which
movie
was my
stinks.
second time watching it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Why did you watch it a second time?
Deanna wanted to watch it. My milestones, which is like your 50th movie, 100th movie, 150th movie. My 50th movie was Out of Darkness. My 100th movie was Camp Pleasant Lake.
Ooh. Rough.
My
Coveted 100th spot.
my 400th movie was Dawn of the Dead, the remake.
Oh, this is Zack Snyder one?
Yeah. And then my
Love it.
500th movie was a documentary on the flat earther who died in tried to launch his own rocket called Rocket. It's called Rocket Man.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I watched 540 movies. About 250 of those was just Dune.
250.
Yeah. But actually, no, my most watched movie was Dune 1 and Dune 2. Dune 2 6 times and Dune 1 5 times.
Damn, 6 times.
Yeah. And,
Wow.
You
and then,
really like Dune.
and then a drop off to Jingle All the Way I watched twice. The Grinch, Jim Carrey's Grinch I watched twice. All the Rings I watched twice, but specifically Fellowship. Super Troopers twice, X twice, Napoleon Dynamite twice. And then we kind of just get down into like the nitty gritty stats, like genres, countries, themes, and nano genres.
Yeah, nano genres are always fun, yeah.
Yeah. And then breakdown of 2024 premieres.
What's your top 2 nano genres? I like to know that.
Crude humor and satire.
Crude humor.
And then, oh no, sorry, that's themes. Nano genres: action, epic, emotion, and scary, tense, scary, tense, cliche.
Scary, tense, cliche. Okay.
Yeah. Because I will have watched like all the Harry Potter movies. My top casts are all the cast of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like Emma Watson, Alan Rickman, Robbie Coltrane.
So either Denny Villeneuve or Chris Columbus or your top director, I'm guessing. Probably Denny.
Denis, yes.
Yeah.
And M. Night Shyamalan was my...
M. Night?
Number 2.
M. Night Shyamalan and Ben Wheatley had the same amount of movies I watched from them. And then you just get down to even more specific. But yeah, that was those were my stats.
What's your? Do you have like your worst movies of the year, anything like that? Rank them by
just by like rating?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Let's see. Just bear with me for a second here. Average rating, your rating, lowest first.
Your lowest first.
Amityville in Space,
Yeah.
half star. Jeepers Creepers Reborn, half star.
Ooh, rough.
The Hip Hop Witch, half star.
Yep.
Cade, The Tortured Crossing, half star. Yeah, I don't give many movies half stars. The first,
I don't either.
1 star, The Human Centipede, although that wasn't 2024. I guess I can also do by year, right? Diary year.
Oh, no, not just the worst of the year, just kind of like the worst that you watched this year.
I
don't care what year it's from. I just want to know.
I'm
the
looking
worst
at the
movie.
screen.
No,
There's
the,
a lot of
the
1
year
stars.
that I logged it.
Yeah, you can.
That's what I mean.
You change it from your a life in film to the drop down for the
Yeah.
year.
I mean, some low points. I guess big disappointments: Gladiator 2, Rebel Moon, Part 2 specifically, Night Swim.
That was bad. Yeah.
Geostorm.
Geostorm.
Yeah, those are all 1 stars, and then you just kind of get into 1/2, 2-star territory. But yeah,
Congratulations on your success.
yeah, and
540 what?
544 entries, and some
Cool.
of those include like some short films, and some like mini series, which are like 3 hours long or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So it's like more than the length of like an average movie.
They cancel each other out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good for you.
yeah, it was a good year. Learned a lot. Was punished a lot. And saw a lot of interesting, cool stuff.
I think the first year that I watched a ton of movies, and like consciously for the show decided to watch a ton of movies. It's really nice because it gives you some perspective. You get to watch a bunch of absolute crap that you know you're not going to like, but it's good to expose yourself to those things. So
Is it?
Yeah, it is. You need to have some perspective. You know, cause yourself a little pain every once in a while.
Yeah.
You don't need to live such a charmed life all the time, watching Oscar nominated movies all the time.
I know. I've done that. I feel like I've just been watching good movies. I need to humble myself.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
been watching good movies.
I need some variety of quality.
That's a very interesting perspective.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you want more mid movies.
Yeah, Tyler wants to watch middle of the road stuff.
He doesn't want to
Neither
watch good
nor
movies or terrible movies. Just like perfectly average quality
Yeah,
movies.
bad. Right in the middle, just completely avoid feeling anything.
Yeah. I don't even know like how I came to that idea of wanting more mid movies. I think I watched a mid movie. I can't even remember what it was that triggered.
It was so mid.
It was just so mid. I thought to myself, wow,
Now that's
that's a movie.
a definition of a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler, your Letterboxd year in review says you watched 55 movies in 2024, and 52 of them were for the show. So watched 3 extra movies.
And then I watched 934 hours worth of movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is it? What is this review for downsizing?
I knew you were going to
Say,
bring that one up.
It was love fuck. One word. Love fuck. It was love fuck. What does that even mean?
It was love fuck.
Remember the exchange of events between, or the conversation between Matt Damon's character and the other
Hung Chao's character?
Hung Chao's character, and she was
I can't
asking
say I
him-
remember love fuck.
She was asking, what kind of fuck was it? Was it hate fuck? Or
You can do the accent. It's okay.
Oh shit!
Just lean into the accent. Speaking of the accent, though, she does a very heavy Vietnamese accent, and she's
Yeah.
not Vietnamese.
She isn't.
No,
Wow.
she's not.
Well, I had
No,
no.
What the hell is she? Said the racist.
Yeah,
Come on, stop.
I was like, well, that's a very convincing accent.
Didn't she get flack for it?
Well,
I don't know. If
I
she
could have
did or
sworn
not.
she got
it was just very
Backlash.
It was very accentuated, so, but
Yeah, it was over
I
the
could
top
have
for
sworn
sure.
she was Vietnamese.
well, regardless, I didn't. I was really quick on writing the review. It's not even really a review, but
Well, if it's from the movie, it's
she's-
from the movie that
I
makes
think
sense. Then I was just confused.
She's from
Yeah.
Thailand.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought she's Thai, but I didn't want to misrace her, not misgender her. So that's that, and then a couple in the chat. Angry Otter says, "Wow, Tyler watched nearly 2 movies per week. That's crazy." Winky face. And Heather says, "My top 2 nano genres: horror, twist, death and blood, silly cult. I finally feel seen."
Silly cult.
I finally feel seen.
Silly cult.
Silly cult. Cool. You want me to do mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, Michael Elliott, 1,862 entries.
Damn.
this year. Yeah, he has watched
It's crazy.
1,772 hours.
God, man, it has too much time on his hands.
That is
What does he do for a living?
that's 73 days straight, almost 74 days straight of movie watching.
We had him on the show. I don't remember what we talked about.
He says he watches it while he's working sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's
And
right.
also
yeah.
he's like I like to squeeze in a 5-minute reel while my wife's getting ready to go out.
Yeah, that's right.
And contrary to popular belief, I do have a social life, he said. So if you divide that by 365, that's 4.8 hours a day, every single day on average of watching movies.
I mean, I guess that you could like categorize that as
There's 24 hours in a day.
And 5 of those he's watching movies.
so he gets off
every day.
he gets off of work and then he just watches.
No, he's watching it during work.
He's
Well-
watching it when he's working, when he's showering, when he's driving.
Yeah, he's driving. Okay, so for my stats, I ended up at 536 for the year, 932 hours worth. My my first film was Founders Day, one of the worst of the year.
Oh, okay.
Fuck, man, that's bad. Fried Green Tomatoes, number 50. I thought that was fun. Ocean's 13. I have a soft spot for that movie, number 100. The Original Manchurian Candidate, 150. Did not like. Challenge of the Masters, the classic 76 Hong Kong kung fu movie. Number 200. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, 250. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Thelma, Rocky 5, Cuckoo, Children of the Corn, and Florida Man. I logged Florida Man, the series.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
It's not it. There's no entry in Letterboxd. I had to find a movie called Florida Man.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I put it on there, and then I just say this is for the HBO series Florida Man.
So everyone's aware.
Yeah, and then my last movie of the year was Let's Start a Cult, which I'll talk about later.
Nice.
Yeah, most watched movies: Dune Part 2, also
Oh, nice.
3
Really?
times. 3 times. The Holdovers twice. Once at the beginning of the year, once at the end of the year. Disturbia twice, surprisingly. The Shia LaBeouf movie.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. I don't remember watching it twice, but Brianna loves that movie, so I'm sure I've sat through it a couple times.
I liked it. Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. The Substance twice, Alien Romulus twice, Freaky twice, Strange Darling twice, Hot Fuzz twice. Most of the movies I watch twice in a year is because I'll see one in theater, and then Brianna wants to watch it later, and she just doesn't like to go to the theaters that very much. She feels trapped. Like, what's his name? Dennis Quaid.
Trapped.
In,
Or Josh Hartnett.
Cold Creek
Yeah,
Manor.
Cold Creek
Oh,
Manor.
yeah, Josh Hartnett in that one movie.
Another
What's it
stat.
called again?
was like, what day did you watch the most movies of the week?
Oh, yeah. Mine is on Sundays.
Oh, mine's Monday.
Monday is fourth place for me.
Really?
Yeah. Friday, then Saturday, then Sunday, then Monday.
Saturday because I'm here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, and then let's see here. What else do I got here? Comedies are my highest by far with 210 films.
Wow.
And my nano genres: scary, tense, cliche, gory, thrills, haunted, and action, epic, emotion. Also, fighting, cool, kill.
Fighting, cool, kill.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oops, fighting, cool, killing. Yeah.
That's in my top 5 nano genres. Fighting, cool, killing.
Fighting, cool, killing. Yeah, that's a super fun one.
And then blood, silly cult is like my 6th.
Who comes up with these names?
they're like micro genre. It's like a genre within a genre. It's like not just a horror, but it's a fighting horror.
They should
or
come
an
up
action.
with day lists for Letterboxd.
Day list. What's that mean?
It's like this what Spotify
And
does.
Spotify, yeah.
It has like some of the silliest like playlist titles.
Oh yes.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like a hipster barbecue or whatever.
Like mine right now is modern psychedelic surf rock Saturday afternoon.
Oh, I want to see what mine is right now
That's
too.
funny.
Mine is love slowcore afternoon.
slowcore.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. 75% of my movies are new watches. 25 are rewatches, which is
Slow.
that's unusual for me. I usually rewatch a lot of movies, and then
Really?
you would not surprise. I'd be very surprised what my number one is. When Tyler's enemy for actor, highest number actor, Matt Damon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 10 films.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I would not expect that. And then
He's 8 films for me.
Willem Dafoe, Christian Bale, Robert Englund, Brad Dourif.
Oh, because of the
I watched all the Hellraiser or the Nightmare on Elm Streets, and I watched all the Chuckies this year. Let's see who directors. Werner Herzog, number one.
Yes.
Werner.
And then Chang Che, Hong Kong director from the 70s. Ridley Scott, Richard Donner, and Wes Craven.
Wow.
And
Those damn binge challenges are
yeah, they really
skewing
do.
your
Speaking of which, binge movies, wearing the merch right now.
skewing your
Go check
your
that
stats.
show out. Okay, my worst reviewed movies of the year: The Hip Hop Witch, Camp Pleasant Lake, Cade the Tortured Crossing, Loquisha, The Mandela Effect Phenomenon, Tiptoes, Amityville in Space, Slayers, Shark Tale, 1.5 stars.
Shark Tale.
Yeah, fuck that movie. Hate that movie. Stage Fright, Bait, a shark movie, You People, and then Founders Day. Yeah, I don't really have any like huge disappointments because besides the ones we already talked about on the show, but one that Tyler might be upset about, 2 stars for Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Really?
Did not like that. No.
Wow.
No.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, no, not good. So that's that, and then good.
I like you mentioned your rewatch percentage.
Oh, yeah.
Mine was 90% new watches.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and
I feel like 25% of rewatches is low for me.
really,
I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm just in my mind. It's different. But I feel like I rewatch a lot of movies.
yeah. I mean, 85% were 2024, or no, were not 2024 movies, which makes sense. Most movies haven't come out in 2024. Most movies that exist
That's true.
haven't come
That's
out
a great
in
point.
2024.
But yeah, I mean, that's true.
And then I gave 4 stars the highest. That was like the most I gave movies this year.
Yeah, I think it's about right for me too. Okay, so those are year in review, and then I had something I wanted to, for one, I had a message from Bruce. Mm-hmm. He's the only person who chimed in, and I asked for people's recommendations on what was it? It was for movie cliches.
Yeah.
Movie cliches. that he-
Tropes.
Yeah, where is it? I can't find the message. I thought I pasted it into the movie news. Let me see here. Bruce. Did he message us? No, he said go see Flo.
It was an email.
Was it an email?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, we'll see if we could find it. While Joseph was looking that up, he had a couple cliches, which I think are really good ones too. So I want to read them. I did want to mention our old pal Heather. She's in the chat right now, and she made a post on her Facebook this morning that she just lost her cat.
Oh.
Her third cat, her last of her kitties. And it was a very sweet post. I'm not going to read it because I think that's personal. But it was a really nice, like, touching sort of tribute to her cat. And we're all animal people. Tyler's a cat person. Joseph is a cat person. I'm more of a dog person. But I do love cats. I used to have a number of cats, and then I realized once I stopped keeping cats that I'm allergic to them. My allergies immediately got so much better than they were my entire life, and it was because I moved to a house that never had a cat in it, and our cat ran away right before I moved. I'm relegated to the fact that I'll never own a cat again unless it's an outdoor cat.
Oh man, do I have a surprise for you?
Are you dropping Lucas off my backyard?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I read Heather's message about her cat. I got a a really sweet feeling about it. Sad and sweet. It's bittersweet.
Melancholic.
Feeling. Yeah, melancholic and bittersweet. And then I found this poem from Jimmy Stewart that he was on the Johnny Carson show in 1981. Already an old man in 81. You forget how old some of those old movies are. And Jimmy Stewart was in his prime in It's a Wonderful Life. We were talking about that last week and how he played a college student. They just put a college sweater on him. Yeah, he's like 40 years old or whatever.
It's like putting the backwards hat on Jigsaw.
Yeah, exactly. Holding a skateboard. Yeah. And so he wrote a poem about his dog Bo on the Johnny Carson show, and I wanted to play it for us. So Joseph, can you cut to to this?
But every once in a while he'd stop in his tracks and with a frown on his face,
this is just
look
the
around.
end.
It was just to make sure that the old one was there to follow him where he was bound. We're early to bedders in our house. I guess I'm the first to retire. And as I'd leave the room, he'd look at me and get up from his place by the fire. He knew where the tennis balls were upstairs, and I'd give him one for a while, and he'd push it under the bed with his nose, and I'd dig it out with a smile. But before very long, he'd tire the ball, and he'd be asleep in his corner in no time at all. And there were nights when I'd feel him climb upon our bed and lie between us, and I'd pat his head. And there were nights when I'd feel this stare, and I'd wake up and he'd be sitting there, and I'd reach out to stroke his hair, and sometimes I'd feel him sigh, and I think I know the reason why. He'd wake up at night and he would have this fear of the dark, of life, of lots of things, and he'd be glad to have me near. And now he's dead. And there are nights when I think I feel him climb upon her bed and lie between us, and I pat his head. And there are nights when I think I feel that stare, and I reach out my hand to stroke his hair, and he's not there. Oh, how I wish that wasn't so. I'll always love a dog named Bo.
That was beautiful.
I thought it was. I'm tearing up, right now.
I watched it. That chokes you up, man.
I watched it yesterday and just
it's very sad.
Immediately bawling while I was watching it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Pete mentioned that too, and I have a Charles Bukowski poem. Just kidding.
Thank you for not fucking that up. And I felt that in my bones because I have my Great Dane Nova, my lost love Nova.
Yeah,
I still think sometimes I can feel her coming up onto the couch and putting her head on my lap, so for me to pet her, and it's a really special love between someone and their pet that is really hard when that's gone. Yeah. So condolences, Heather. Love you. I hope that you find a fuzzy friend to keep your companionship very soon.
Yes,
Curly looked like a great friend.
Yes.
So that's all I got. Tyler, what do you got?
All right.
Liven it up.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of that poetry, you nonsense.
I felt like we shit enough on Jimmy Stewart last week. And that was just too perfect. I had to play it.
No, that was
It was
that was a very well written poem.
Yeah.
And
it was only half it. The first half, it was like 5 minutes long.
to have the Stones to go up on live television. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, before I get into my thing, I wanted to go through my Letterboxd as well. I thought I was
Shouldn't take long.
We did already.
Well, no, I wanted to.
I
go
reviewed the two. I read the two movies you watched. That we
All right,
didn't
fine.
cover.
Well, I'm just gonna go over two of them of the worst review ones.
Okay.
Worst reviewed ones.
Okay.
Tiptoes, I gave a half star. Just and for new listeners, I like to read my Letterboxd review, so I'll read this one for 2002's Tiptoes. What the fuck was this movie? It felt like a fever dream. The story, while making sense, felt so unnecessary to tell, or rather than the way it was structured made me feel it was unnecessary. There I go again with just going on some rant. Gary that sentence literally doesn't make any sense. I don't even know what.
I like the commentary.
Outrageous Tyler.
Commentary within the review
I'm reviewing the review.
that we've already read on the show. We read this review on the show.
Well, people who are coming into the show with new ears, they don't know. Gary Oldman playing a little person felt very jarring, and Peter Dinklage was underused because I think he is a great talent that should have been more on the forefront of the story. I won't go any further. Tiptoes, yeah, please don't. I mean, if you want to punish yourself, I guess watch it, but that was a horrifying movie.
Yeah, go back and watch our Tiptoes review.
Yeah,
Listen to the movie. Watch our review.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my most disappointing movie I watched, this was in 2023 though, but
Is when you watched it or when you logged?
oh no, I logged it. Oh, sorry. It came out in 2023. I watched it in 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, Poor Things. I was so disappointed by that movie. I rated it a 1 star. I thought it was a boring and waste of a unique idea.
You're not alone. A lot of people also didn't like
I
it.
had high expectations for it, and then I just went in and just
Didn't you come around on it though?
kind of not really. Like, I was thinking about it in the shower this morning. I was thinking how sad I was that I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. But enough of my very limited Letterboxd list. I looked up movies that are coming out in 2025 and made a list of my most anticipated movies that are coming out this year. And I know I disparaged 2025 for not having good movies coming out, but I was sorely mistaken. There actually looks like there's going to be a lot of great things coming out.
After looking into it, I was wrong.
Yeah, instead of just assuming. So I'm going to go with my first most anticipated movie, the new Wolfman. And
It's coming out soon, isn't it? It's coming out this month, right?
no, it's coming out, I think,
January 17th.
Oh, I thought it was coming out in another month. I was
Like 2 weeks from now.
So this one is a controversial one for me because I had an emotional roller coaster feeling of having a new Wolfman coming out. And I was
As
like,
you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inner turmoil about this movie.
Something everybody goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, do we really need a new Wolfman movie? And so at first I was excited. I was like, oh, it's a new Wolfman movie. And then I was like, oh, there's a new Wolfman movie. And then I was like,
I hate it when car manufacturers come out with new models all the time. All the time.
They keep remaking the same cars.
I know.
and
You
so,
know you could just not buy the car.
There's no
Yeah.
original cars
It doesn't
anymore.
hurt you. Just don't watch the movie.
that's true. Fair point.
It doesn't have to. There's an emotional attachment to it.
Fair point. So Wolfman coming out soon on the heels of
Lee
the
Wanell's Wolfman.
on the heels of the masterpiece that was Nosferatu. And then Warfare, the new Mendoza and Garland flick coming out. That a lot of people when the trailer first came out, like I think like a month ago, there was some controversy of it like glorifying war. And I didn't feel that way when I watched the trailer. I thought I think the Iraq war hasn't been really put proper onto film. Like a lot of the wars in the
Hurt Locker.
I mean, I would. It's hard to consider that
An
one
Oscar-winning movie.
I do like it, but it doesn't really. I don't know.
But we don't even know if this one does either because nobody's seen it.
It's a trailer.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm anticipating it. I think it's gonna be good.
I know we just said I just.
For me.
I just like. I don't know if we really need another movie about like American soldiers showing
Flight.
American soldiers and like showing how much
They go
trauma
through.
they experience. Like, do we need another movie like that?
Yeah.
Why? Like, what about the people in the country that they're terrorizing?
Yeah, how about that?
Instead of
Isn't that Slumdog Millionaire? Oh wait, no, that's just a game show.
It is funny that it's like, America invades another country, and then they wait 20 years, and then make a bunch of movies about how the people who invaded your country are sad about it.
I know. Oh no, you had a hard time because you joined the military, and now you're experiencing trauma.
You're just doing the accent now.
That's not an accent. That's a speech impediment.
It's a baby talk.
Whatever.
But I don't know. I mean, the movie, like, separate from that, the movie does look, very tense and like thrilling and stuff. But I'm like, do we need it? We don't need it.
Yes, I mean, do we even need movies to begin with?
I think it's
No, if
strange
you boil
that
it down, no. I guess we don't. But
we just need beans and rice and air.
yeah, exactly.
And vegetables.
We just need a different perspective. We don't need another American
I
perspective.
see what you're saying.
Well, Garland co-wrote and co-produced it, or sorry, co-wrote and co-directed it with this guy. What his first name is Mendoza, right?
I only know his Mendoza.
And he doesn't. Garland said he doesn't want to direct anymore, so maybe this is an easy way for him to like attach his name and bring some kind of like name recognition to this project. And he read the book or read the manuscript or whatever and thought, oh, this is interesting. I'll attach my name to it and I'll help out, make it a bigger thing.
He's like being like a consultation sort of role.
Consultant.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. What else you got?
Second one. This is a surprise, or not second one. It's third one. This is going to be a very surprising one and a controversial one. If anyone is a fan of mine, the live action Lilo and Stitch movie.
Really, you're into it, huh?
Because I loved Lilo and Stitch, the first iteration of it. And at first, when I heard that they were making a live action one, I was like, okay, yeah, it's another live action Disney movie. I saw the trailer and I got hyped up because it looks incredible.
It does look good.
It looks
the hardest
like
boner
the quality. The quality of the animation looks good.
It looks really good, and I think the story, you can make it into where it can translate well in a live action setting and not be so bombastic like the 2D animation one was.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of potential there, so I'm hyped for it. I want to see that. So
Interesting.
I'm anticipating Lilo and Stitch live action remake.
The capitalism is just raging hard right now for that movie.
Are we cucks for capitalism?
And of course, 28 years later.
Yes.
That is a very anticipated movie that I'm looking forward to. And they already are mentioning about a sequel to it as well, as a spin-off.
That's what Joseph said,
Yeah, it's different director next year.
Yeah, so this is going to be a big event.
I hope so.
We'll see. So that's your top 5?
Well, I have more.
Oh, okay.
Okay, keep going.
I just don't know how long. You still want us to talk, right?
Well, yeah, I'll get through this quick.
I'm just saying, we're at 40 minutes now.
Oh, we real are? Okay,
We're
really
do
quick.
a dissertation on everyone.
All right, fine.
If you got 15 on the list, we're never going to end the show.
All right, well, that was just number 4. Okay, so number 5, Nobody 2. I really love the first one.
That's cool.
I can't wait for the second one to come out.
Is Chad Stahelski still directing again?
I
think he's the one who directed it.
I'm not sure.
Mr. Nobody, can't wait.
Nobody 2, great. And then the Anaconda, that's going to be like the soft reboot of the Anaconda series.
Paul Rudd is director, is like producing it too, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard. Very excited for that.
I was wrong. It's not Chad Stahelski. It's Ilya Neishuler did Nobody. My bad.
And then bonus mention, Halloween Aftermath. Didn't think that they could make another Halloween.
There's another one.
Really?
There's another Halloween movie coming out.
Oh.
is Keith Cunningham or Chris Cunningham or whatever his name is.
So I only said the bonus mention because I just saw it before, like, I made this list, like right before we started spinning, and I was like, "There's another Halloween coming out! Holy shit!" Like,
Wow.
I didn't really like the Halloween series, but the fact that they're making a fourth one, I'm intrigued. And
Directed by James Grimm,
Mr. Grimm.
who hasn't done anything I've heard of.
Well, so I didn't think that they could make another Halloween movie, but
They said it couldn't be done.
here we are in 2025. So that's my list. I don't know if you guys have a list, or like you can just like scroll.
I don't have a
real
list,
quick,
but
and just like mention.
28 years later, yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
I wish they would throw on 28 Days Later somewhere to watch available.
It's coming. It has to be.
Sinners, I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
When I went and saw Nosferatu, they played the trailer and it was like,
Yeah. Michael
looks-
B. Jordan period piece. Vampire.
It looks really well.
It looks good.
It looks good just visually. I'm I don't know if I'm excited, but I'm kind of excited for Marty Supreme.
Oh hell yeah.
I saw some behind the scenes of them making it, and a very small clip of it of like on looks like they're shooting in New York or Chicago or something.
Yeah.
So that looks, I'm excited for that. Josh Safdie's next project. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
I'm curious about that. That reminds me, actually, we had a discussion of, I don't know how long ago, like a month ago, 2 months ago, about directors that you like love, but like the projects that you don't like that much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm.
It was something like that.
Not great movies from great directors.
Guillermo del Toro, I think, is a perfect example
Yeah.
of that, because he is a director that I will always like. I'll always watch his stuff, even if some of it is not. I don't like think is great. Like Nightmare Alley. I was not a big fan of Nightmare Alley.
Yeah.
Or Pacific Rim.
What?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Pacific Rim.
You didn't like Pacific Rim?
No,
I don't even know you. I feel like I don't even know you now.
it's not a great movie.
Hey, man. What's up with that crossbow?
What the fuck?
It's not a good movie. But I'll always like, he has made like really fantastic movies. Aside from those,
I love Pacific Rim. It's so dumb.
Mickey 17. It was delayed again, I believe. I don't know if it's coming out in 2025 still. But Mickey 17. Wake Up Dead Man, the Knives Out sequel.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that was what that was.
Yeah.
Sweet.
The third in the series.
That makes it hard to know that it's in the series because they don't put the name in it.
Yeah. It's just
Wake
called
Up Dead Man.
Wake Up Dead Man, sequel to Glass Onion. And I think those were like the big ones that are coming out this year, I believe. But yeah, there's a Five Nights at Freddy's 2 coming out.
Jesus.
Nobody 2.
I like Five Nights at Freddy's, but I don't care about the whatever.
I don't care what happens after or what happens again. Yeah, those are the main ones, I think, that I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely like Sinners is pretty high up there, and 28 Years Later I'm definitely interested in.
All right, so I'll give you a few that I'm excited about. Wolfman as well. Lee Whannell's Wolfman after he did The Invisible Man, and I was like blown away by that. I thought it's great. Companion, it's the Jack Quaid, like it's like a sort of a like a thriller. He kidnaps somebody and kind of keeps them as a companion for dinner.
Oh.
That looked interesting. I don't know much about it, but I like him a lot, and I feel like he needs to be able to flex his acting chops a little bit more.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Osgood Perkins' new movie, The Monkey, looks fun, really fun and dark. The Legend of Ochi could be bad, but the production looks so good. It's about a little creature this girl finds on like a mountainside.
I remember the trailer for that.
Yeah, and the discourse around that movie was really intense because people were saying it looked like AI and generated like imagery or video or whatever, and the filmmaker had to come on site and show all the storyboarding and show how they did it, and it's a lot of puppetry.
Yeah.
mixed with some CG assist to make it look more smooth or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It could be shitty, but I think it's going to be really fun. It
Kind of sucks that's where our world is now.
It really is.
It looks like AI. We need some. There's gonna be like
prove you're a human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which of these boxes has a light pole in it?
Yeah, exactly. You want to go to the 3-0, Joseph? Mickey 17, Bong Joon-ho's movie. I'm really excited about that. I will watch the Minecraft movie because I think that it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason Momoa looks fucking terrible in it. Jack Black looks fucking terrible. And I hate to say, I've had a soft spot in my heart for Jack Black for my entire life of knowing him. And I feel like he's going down a path that I can't follow.
Yeah.
I like the Star Wars reference.
I'm Padme to his Anakin right now.
Yeah.
You're breaking my heart.
It's kind of rough.
Matt Damon or Ben Affleck returns as the Accountant 2. The first one was so fun and over the top.
Back to basics.
Yeah.
Or something.
Accountant 2, weaponized autism. That's the plot.
Weaponized autism.
So he has autism.
That he has autism and he's a killer. The final Mission Impossible movie, The Final Reckoning, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning.
Yeah, that's right.
Put that man, let him rest.
Put him to bed.
Let him rest.
Is he gonna die?
Let Tom Cruise rest. Well, Ethan Hunt too.
Is he gonna fall? Like, is this gonna be a no time to die scenario?
Yeah, he's gonna be on. It would be funny if they did the exact same death. He's on an island and gets hit by missiles.
They use the same.
You know what?
They just deep fake.
The deep fake his face.
Tom Cruise.
You know what would be really great though is like if it was his actual last movie, like they kill him on set and they
For his final stunt.
Yeah,
it was Tom Cruise
murdered on camera.
It was Tom Cruise's final wish.
Megan 2.0 coming out. The first one was a lot of fun. Don't have a whole lot of hopes for it, but I will watch it. Jurassic World Rebirth.
Oh,
the only reason I want to watch this is because it's Gareth Edwards.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say ScarJo.
No, I don't care. He did the creator most recently. He did the 2014 Godzilla. He's got a great eye for scope and scale, and I really think that he could do a lot of fun stuff with the Jurassic Park franchise.
Hey, he's the British Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah. And then the Superman movie, James Gunn's Superman. Really interested about that. Again, not necessarily like excited, but very interested. It's not only do we have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, we also have Maggie Gyllenhaal's directorial movie, The Bride, which is the Bride of Frankenstein with Christian Bale as the monster.
Oh yes, I remember.
Looks exciting. Looks really exciting. Glenn Powell's doing the Running Man reboot. I'm not really.
It's Edgar Wright.
Is it?
Edgar Wright.
Okay, you're right. It is right. It is Edgar Wright. Now I have to watch it. I was not interested at all because I didn't like the original.
Now that's crazy to me.
It's not good.
It's
really,
I
really
didn't say
not funny.
I didn't say it's
really
good.
not even that fun either.
It's very fun and very entertaining.
Okay, what do you say?
The premise is so ridiculous, and the villains, the adversaries, are so silly and over the top.
The regional wrestlers,
yes,
that they have.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's okay. Lynn Ramsey's coming out with Die My Love, another really should be a very sad movie. Lynn Ramsey just makes sad movie. She makes sad movies after sad movie. Yeah. I had another one that I saw in here on my list, but I just can't remember. Obviously, it's not that impactful.
Karate Kid Legends.
No. Sinners, definitely Sinners.
Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah, no, not that. Mickey 17.
Wicked for Good. I don't understand why they call it Wicked Part 1 and then Wicked for Good.
I don't think they do call it Wicked Part 1.
Isn't it Part 1?
It is a Part 1, but they don't call it Wicked Part 1. It's just Wicked.
I think it's Wicked Part 1.
The F1, the Brad Pitt movie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a sucker for him and stuff. I don't know. I always like him and stuff. And then they have the...
original title, Wicked Part 1. But just Wicked IMDb.
And then there's the Fantastic Four movie with Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That should be at least interesting, if nothing else. And then near the end of the year, Tron Ares. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then they have the Predator Badlands with what's her name from Elle Fanning. She's playing the lead character in it. So there's some interesting stuff out there for sure. We'll see if it's any good and if it actually comes out in 2025.
We'll let you know on December 31st.
It'll get pushed back to 2029 like the Batman 2.
Oh yeah, the delays. We were gonna have a banger 2026.
Yeah, we were.
But now we only have 2/3. Yeah, potentially.
Well, anyways, let's get into some streaming picks.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Alrighty, streaming picks, movies that we've watched this week on streaming services that we will recommend to you or may not recommend to you. Joseph, what do you have for us this week?
Not a lot. I'm kind of doing the opposite of what I did last year. I'm watching as little movies as possible.
Oh, you're pulling a Tyler. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pulling a Noe. Because I only have one movie.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, one movie.
It's a weird week.
One movie to talk about. I mean, I watched the Beauty and the Beast live action. Terrible.
Yeah,
It
really live
is?
action reboot,
Yeah,
remake.
not bad. No, is bad. Not bad. Terrible. But the only other movie I watched is a rewatch from my childhood, I think, 2004, Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's a good rewatch.
Now we're talking.
Now we're cooking.
That's what I thought
Cinema.
going into
That's what I thought. Oh no.
going into watching it again because Deanna had also she has actually probably watched this movie more than I have.
Oh.
Because we were watching it and she was just like
You can see her lips moving along with the dialogue.
Yeah.
She's just silently.
This was her Pride. This is she has Pride and Prejudice memorized and Chronicles of Riddick.
I would love to hear Deanna's Vin Diesel impression.
Oh yeah, we have to get a Robin Williams impression and an Australian impression from
That's
Tyler
next episode.
at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chronicles of Riddick, the sequel to Pitch Black, opening with what is his name even? Riddick. That's his name.
Yeah, it's Riddick.
Yeah, I was like, what's this dude's name?
Riddick Smith.
Riddick.
The Furion. Riddick.
Riddick. James Riddick to you.
Yeah, he.
I think it's Riddick Singh.
Please, Mr. Riddick is my father. I'm just Riddick. The movie starts. He's got Vin Diesel has the most hair he's ever had. It's got
watch that courtroom drama.
He's got a full beard. He's got a full like Duck Dynasty beard.
Yeah.
And long hair, which is so obviously not real. But what surprised me a lot was the cast, and the fact that Judi Dench got roped into this.
She's like an elemental god or something.
He got roped into it.
Young Carl Urban is also in this.
Oh yeah.
Keith David comes back. Same role. And we are now in a more populated, rich part of the story where there's like more civilization and prisons and stuff. And there's this whole like kind of authoritarian government
regime.
Yeah, who have like H.R. Geiger-esque armor and design of their palace and ships and stuff. And they have like elementals. There's like elemental elements of this movie. There's like spirits and souls. He has like the main bad guy is like a Shang Tsung. He can just take your soul out of your body. Like they're in like this big courtroom setting with like a city council meeting almost.
Yeah.
And there's a guy who's just like speaking up. You know, he's speaking against them. And the lead guy, just walks up to him, grabs him by like the throat, and like rips his soul out of his body. And then
says, "Your soul is mine."
He had perfect opportunity to do the funniest thing. And this movie is like, it's like, I don't remember it being as cheesy as it was in terms of the effects and like the CG.
That's the name of the game.
But it definitely is dated in that aspect, and it like teetered on the edge of being like really, really campy, or like being really, really serious,
taking itself seriously.
And it like never quite like stepped fully into either of those ideas. So it kind of ended up being just like not a super fun experience, but there were definitely moments where it was kind of laugh out loud.
I was excited to find out more about Furians.
Yeah.
When I watched it when I was, in my 20s or whatever.
I had this on DVD as a kid, so I did watch it like often. But now I don't see myself going back to it.
Yeah.
Because it's all right. I mean, I guess if you like Pitch Black and you want to know more, or you want to see what happens next, this is a fine follow up. There's some good sequences. But don't watch the next movie,
which is just called Riddick.
Yeah, I think it's just called Riddick.
Yeah,
which is god awful. But yeah, so that Chronicles of Riddick streaming on Peacock, directed by David Twohy. He directed Pitch Black.
I think it's Twohy.
He directed all of them. And The Perfect Getaway, or A Perfect Getaway, The Arrival, Timescape, Pitch Black Slam City.
Okay.
Is it really called that?
That's apparently.
Heather says that Vin Diesel introduced Judi Dench to Dungeons and Dragons, and they used to play.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It kind of has a D&D-ish
It kind of does.
vibe
Now that I think
to
about
it.
that. I never thought put the two and two together.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, Vin Diesel is a huge fan of Dungeons and Dragons, and I think there was...
And family.
Oh, and... Cool. So
When you're here, you're family. He loves he loves Olive Garden.
Yeah, huge fan.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has some like stock in it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only movie
that's
that I watched.
All right.
But yeah, that's it.
Cool. Pete, what do you have for us this week?
So same thing. A little bit of a busy week. I didn't watch a ton of stuff. I rewatched a bunch of stuff, and I watched some kind of like some so things. Queen Pins. It's a really light fare 2021 movie. It is streaming on. Let's see what they're streaming right now on Netflix. It's Kristen Bell, and she basically is a couponer, extreme couponer, one of those.
Oh,
people.
yeah.
And they her and her friend like create this crime ring where they
couponing.
Crime ring.
Yeah, but instead of getting coupons, it's like those like free item coupons.
Yeah.
Where you complain to Breyer's ice cream because you found a giant blonde hair at your
I see.
ice cream, and then they say, here, here's 5 free pints ice cream coupons, and you're like, oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
She gets that, and she gets the idea, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna get a bunch of these and then sell them. So they go to Mexico to the plant that manufactures the coupons and processes the coupons, and basically gets somebody to hook them up to help, and then they kick them back some of the money. And the whole time she's like, oh, we're not really stealing, we're just getting coupons, even though they're absolutely stealing product.
Yeah.
And they're selling the coupons instead. And it's like the scale of the ring is so much that her and her friend get north of $5 million in profit from this in like less than a year
By selling
selling coupons.
Oh, selling the
coupons. And Paul Walter Hauser's in this. He's the best part in it. He is his character in I, Tonya, the goofy
CIA agent.
Quote unquote CIA agent. He plays a very similar character in this, where he's a inspector for like A&G Family Foods or something like that, and he goes to the stores to like basically say this is a bad coupon, it's a counterfeit coupon. Probably printed in China. It's set for November 31st. There is no November 31st.
Yeah.
It's a fake. And the woman's just trying to buy like Preparation H. It's an old lady.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and she's like, you can just let it slide. He's like, ma'am, I would love to, but that's just not how the world works.
I remember
right
that.
and wrong. And there's a scene where he's on the plane, sitting in the window aisle, and this woman, it's like the woman in the aisle, then there's the kid, and then him at the window. And she's like, do you mind if my daughter sits in the window?
Yeah.
She really wants to see. And he
I've seen that clip.
yeah, it's floating around on social media.
Yeah.
And immediately he's like, as much as I would love to, that's just not how the world works. And I feel like teaching your daughter a valuable lesson that sometimes she can't get what she wants just because she wants it is a much more important lesson to learn.
It's like, you asshole.
And she says that. She's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
He just doesn't miss a beat. He's just still eating his peanuts and just immediately turns back to the window.
It's not wrong.
He's not. He just has no social tact, and he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So he ends up working with Vince Vaughn from the Postal Service, Federal Postal Service, because it turns into a mail fraud scheme because they're mailing the coupons.
Yeah.
So that was on Netflix. Light lifting, but fun. I thought that was worth a visit if that sounds like something up your alley.
Yeah.
I rewatched Without a Paddle with Brianna.
Nice.
Better Than I Remember.
Really?
Also on Netflix. I mean, I remember.
I enjoyed it.
I remember it being fun when I watched it when it first came out, since in 2004.
Yeah, I watched it like in 06.
It's fun to watch now because all of those actors are doing like bigger things and are kind of a little bit more established now. But it's really fun. And it's a lot of fun. Yeah, so it's on Netflix. Worth a watch. I won't go into that. Most people probably know what that is. It's just a good comedy, not as dumb as I remember. And I don't know, there's some dumb parts. The whole part with the
boners.
The
boner in the cave.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like the weed growers.
Yeah.
That was a little over the top, but still fun.
I mean, it's definitely not raunchy comedy. It's a
little bit of a raunchy comedy. It's more like a stoner comedy, but they're not stoners.
Yeah.
I watched Compliance.
Oh, nice.
For the first time.
Yeah.
That's streaming everywhere. Amazon Prime, Distro TV, Fubo, Netflix, Peacock, and Plex. Also Pluto, Roku, and Tubi.
Yeah.
Really uncomfortable.
Yes, it is.
Way more uncomfortable than I was expecting. A lot more nudity than I was expecting too.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This
poor girl.
They're just going for it. And thinking about it too in terms of the production, she's on set naked for like half the movie.
Yeah.
So if this is a 25-day production, she's naked for 15 of those or so.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's just it's really
seems excessive.
It's really it's a lot. It's
the nature
a
of the
lot.
story. That's how it is.
Yeah, it is. And Brianna looked it up because I told her it was based on a true story, and she's like, no fucking way. And then she's like, "Oh, it really is. It's almost all of this is real."
Yeah,
and this is just one version of it, where there were multiple versions of the same sort of thing. It's like a guy calling into this McDonald's or chicken place or whatever to
fast food place.
Yeah, he's accusing this woman, this young girl, of stealing from a customer's purse, and he's pretending to be a cop, but he's doing it all over the phone and telling them, "You got to hold her there. You got to do this. You got to strip search her," and like. And I'm like, what? To what end? What's the?
It's a very frustrating and uncomfortable movie because the coworkers are like, you're just gonna do it?
Yeah,
you're just gonna listen to this guy? God, it was.
It's like I've never said in more times in one movie watching, these characters are fucking idiots.
Yes.
It's one of the most frustrating movies because you're like,
and nobody's gonna say anything. Stand up.
Finally, the old guy comes in and is like, I ain't doing that. That's not right to do to a young lady. And you're like. Thank you. Creepy old guy who I thought was going to be a creep. So that's streaming everywhere. I wouldn't necessarily even recommend that movie, to be honest. It's well made, but it's the guy that did The Penguin and The Hunt.
Okay.
Who made that? But it's just it's a hard watch.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good, but I don't know if I would recommend it.
I would.
I rewatched Barb and Star
to anybody.
To my priest,
my mom.
Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. It was our first movie of the year. I wanted to start off with a bang with a movie that I love that's super fun and streaming on Hulu and Tubi. Have you guys seen this one?
No, I haven't even heard.
I recommend. Okay. If you're in a silly mood, it is a silly movie.
Silly goose.
It's a Gloria Sanchez production, so it's like Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig. Okay. That sort of group. And it's two friends, Barb and Star, and they live in the Midwest somewhere. They're 40-somethings. They wear culottes. They're basically like, cackling hens. They just constantly joking and talking about whatever. And they have so many little inside jokes with themselves that go nowhere, but somehow wrap around in the movie near the end. It's so well written in the stupidest way. And Kristen Wiig also plays the villain of the movie, which is even more silly. It's like a
weird
Zoolander level.
Oh, she plays a different character?
A different character,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
She plays two characters. Super, super fun. Does not take itself too seriously. Morgan Freeman voices a crab in it. Jamie Dornan, the guy that was Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey, he's the wannabe love interest of the villainess.
Right.
And he's not trying to the whole thing. He's like, I want to be official with you. That's how he phrased it. He's like, can we be an official thing? And she's like, how about you do this? You enact my plot, and then I will my plot to destroy Vista Del Mar, and then we'll talk. And he's like, oh my gosh, if I had an official girlfriend, I'd be so happy. And that's like his whole motive in life is just to have be official with somebody.
Oh,
that's how he says it. It's so funny. and it's like kind of like a wholesome thing, but then they get into some very like overtly sexual nature situations because they're on vacation at Vista Del Mar.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's fun. I won't say much more else than that, but go watch that. It's on Hulu. A really, really, really fun.
Jack is in the chat waiting for Tyler's Australian impression.
Oh, he is?
You got to wait for the second half, my friend, when we do
I can
Fisher
do it
King.
right now because it's...
Okay. Yeah.
Why do I have to do the second half?
Because we're Fisher King. So we can do the... I guess the Australian on the first half.
Yeah.
And then Robin Williams on the second half.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is that it?
No, we want to hear the impression.
No, I mean, is that it for like your stream?
No, I got a couple more.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were...
Oh, I thought you were going to do the impression.
I just wanted to bring up the Jack's here.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good job, Joseph. You fucked it all up.
Yeah. Sorry, saying hi to our watchers, viewers, listeners.
I watched Night Bitch. Highly anticipated.
I was
Night
so
Bitch.
surprised that was on streaming.
Yeah.
Instantly.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
It didn't do well in theaters, and it's not great. It's not terrible.
Really, the premise of it sounds wacky.
It's... So the poster, the first poster we got for it, plus the name, makes it sound like it's going to be a dark and gritty sort of. Is it real? Is it happening? Or she's turning into a dog, or maybe it's a wolf or something.
Yeah.
And in reality, it's like I had a kid and I'm sad and I'm kind of regretting the fact that I'm a mom now and I had to abandon my...
It's about postpartum depression.
It's more or less about postpartum depression and then like anger and fighting within the marriage with her husband. And then and she's connecting with other mothers, and she's kind of finding this equilibrium with her son, and she's a terrible mother, in my opinion. Just no discipline to her kid whatsoever.
Sounds like Tully or Young Adult or one of those two.
Who?
Like the Tully or Young Adult.
Oh, I didn't see Tully, but yeah.
Where she plays no, she's not a mom in one of those.
Yeah, Young Adult, she's not a mom.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, and there's some good stuff to it. But it's not nearly what I was expecting, and the way that the story goes, it just kind of left me very flat. It's trying to do a lot and be kind of like a heavy, weighty sort of a movie, and it just didn't work for me.
Sounds like a non-horror version of Babadook.
That's
the mother and son relationship.
She doesn't like see him as this problem. She just is just trying to keep up, you know. But she just doesn't do a good job. All this, anyways. It's not great, but it might be worth a watch, especially if you're a mother. Maybe you'll relate more to it. But my number one of the week is a fantastic movie from Steve McQueen, writer director Steve McQueen, who did Shame, that Michael Fassbender movie.
Yeah.
He's also done a ton of like
12 Years a Slave.
12 Years a Slave. Let's see what else.
That was his passion project.
Widows, Small Axe, Uprising, Greenfell, Occupied City. So like this a bunch of stuff. And then Blitz is on Apple TV Plus right now. It's the only place you can watch it.
Which is free this weekend.
Is it really?
I believe so.
Oh, okay. It's just starring Saoirse Ronan and a young actor named Elliot Heffernan, who's probably like 10 in the movie or something like that. It's set in England a year into World War II during the Blitzkrieg, hence the name Blitz. And there's a program for the people who live in the cities that are constantly being bombed where they can give their kids to some authority, the school system or something, and then they take the train out to the countryside so the kids are safe from the bombing.
Okay.
The parents stay in the cities because they can continue their life or whatever.
Yeah, this movie sounds familiar.
Yeah, and it just came out not too long ago. I mean, this year.
Yeah.
And
2024?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, last year, 2024. Yeah. And
I haven't seen you guys since last year.
Hey, that's a good point. Hans Zimmer does the score for this, and it's really good.
Oh.
It's weird. I didn't really see a whole lot of like promotion for this movie.
No,
I think Apple
TV doesn't do a good job of that. They don't promote their stuff.
Because I remember when I watched the trailer for this film, I was like, damn, that's a really interesting plot. And then I kind of forgot about it because I didn't see it anywhere.
So Steve McQueen's mother was in the Blitz in England during the Blitz, and she had to evacuate. And he's basically wanted to tell that sort of story, but from the perspective of a child.
Yeah.
Because adults are having a hard time with the war. There's risk of death everywhere and actual death everywhere.
Yeah.
But seeing that world through the perspective of a child who's cast away from his family and he doesn't understand why he has to leave, and he's got animosity and anger towards his mom because of it, and then he regret because of what he said to her when she's leaving, and ultimately what happens is he goes on the train away. He doesn't want to leave. He jumps off the moving train and it's like, boop, I'm going back home. I'm going to go see my mom. And then he gets lost on his way back to London during the Blitzkrieg. So he gets meets some nice people. He meets some not so nice people. He meets some kids. He meets some adults. He sees some traumatic things, a lot of dramatic things. But Joseph, remember in Dune Part 1, the Herald of the Change? Really, really dark-skinned guy comes to Caladan and basically gives...
that guy. That's a very small part.
Yeah, super small part. That actor he's super enigmatic. Seems like just very intense. He plays
great voice.
Great voice. He plays a character in this who's like a police officer who's helping the boy. And he's super, super like genuine and very caring, very different character from the last one. And they have Dollar Store Jeremy Irons in it. Paul Weller, this actor named Paul Weller, who really looks like Jeremy Irons.
Oh, okay.
But he's not. Stephen Graham's also in it, and a couple other people you recognize. But this is like a 5-star movie. This is really good.
Oh, okay.
It's very emotional. There's a lot happening during the movie. It just keeps moving. And also, there's some really it's a great building of this period because she goes to jazz clubs, she goes to underground like bunkers and things like that. There's some very harrowing scenes where everyone's bunkering in like the tunnel, the subway tunnel.
Yeah,
and the bomb goes off, and then something happens. I won't say what happens, but everybody's in danger at that point. And it's like there's some like big set pieces that are made for this movie. Like intense stuff that are really happening to these real actors, and the budget's like $25 million, straight to Apple TV Plus, and it's a banger. It's a really good movie.
Nice.
So yeah, I highly recommend people to watch Blitz, Blitz. It is worth your time.
Cool. Get blitzed and watch Blitz.
Yeah,
that's a perfect movie to get blitzed to.
So that's that.
All right, guys, I have a new movie for you this week.
What?
What? Yeah, okay.
Oh,
is Tyler in the room with us right now? Or is that Jack?
This is my new streaming pick, and it is...
Steve Irwin's back from the grave.
It's Dexter Origins.
We got Crocodile Dundee right in the room with us.
I like how he did a lot of this.
I'm just kidding, of course. I'm going to be talking about my anti-streaming pick. I hope you enjoyed that very offensive impression of you, Jack. Love you.
Jack
Appreciate
says that sounds
you.
like the Beatles.
You sound like you're from Liverpool.
Yeah.
Well, I have a good Liverpool accent. And we'll talk about Dexter Origins next episode.
All right.
Anyways, I have an anti-streaming pick this week, and I have a regular streaming pick.
Where's Joseph Bridges when we need him?
No, I know, right? I thought he was going to be here for this. So I caught up with Mary, streaming on Netflix. It's about Jesus's mother.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's so bad.
Played by Pamela Anderson.
No. So I checked it out because the story itself, like the concept of the story is interesting because it's following, like, Mary
Magdalene,
the Virgin Mary, Mary Magdalene, and so I thought that was a kind of like an interesting turn of events of telling the Immaculate Conception, and if it wasn't. It's directed by DJ Caruso. I've never heard of the man.
Sounds familiar. DJ Caruso.
Wait, is Mary Magdalene not Mother Mary? Is that a different Mary?
That's Jesus's squeeze. The Virgin Mary.
So he married somebody
with the same name as his mom?
Yes.
No, that's weird.
But the idea of the movie is really compelling because it follows Mary and like her trials and tribulations of going through being pregnant or being raped by God.
Hey, Jesus.
And
what did you say, Joseph?
Same director as Disturbia.
Really?
Yep.
This guy?
Eagle Eye, I Am Number 4.
Wow.
DJ Caruso?
Triple X, Return of Xander Cage.
Holy shit. Now we're talking, dude.
Did he do the original Triple X? No, he didn't.
So it deals with like the culture of her being pregnant, but not by Joseph's hand or appendage.
Or response.
And so...
I had nothing to do with it.
It focuses on the culture aspect too little, but it's interesting because you never really think like Mary being a person who, you know, birthed our Lord and Savior, and her being a pariah in her village or town. And so I really like that idea of like focusing on that aspect of like what other human beings would like think of her, like, and how her husband would think of her too, because in the movie that it focuses on that as well. It's like Joseph is like, how dare you, like, I know you slept with another man. And then it kind of brings up the weird, like, just the nonsensical story that is Christianity, which was funny. But overall, the movie, it's 110 minutes, was not that great.
Yeah.
But I really like the idea of it. It was a good idea. It just wasn't executed.
I thought that was always canon, I guess, that Mary, you know, she gets immaculately impregnated. And then they're like, you cheated on me, you bitch. And then
more or less.
And then
I think it's
she gives birth in a barn.
Yeah, in a manger.
Because they hate her.
Yeah.
I don't think it's because they hate her. It's because they had no open space.
They're not, I feel like telling like that story to kids, like they're not going to go into like the cultural implications of being pregnant and not being married, or being married and being pregnant, but the husband's like, I didn't do anything to her. So
Tyler, which do you like better, the book or the movie?
Is it better than the book?
I gotta say I like the movie better than the book.
Okay.
The book is a little all over the place.
Kind of loses about halfway. Kind of just changes authors completely.
Huge tone change.
Yeah, it is.
It's almost like every chapter is written by a different person in the second half.
That's kind of what it feels like.
Did you mention that Anthony Hopkins is in this?
No, he did not.
He is in it.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's how forgettable this movie was. He plays the evil king who thinks he's the king of kings, and then he hears of this immaculate.
You telling me a baby is the king of kings? I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, I mean the movie, like, it's okay. I mean, it's okay. It's not. It's.
That's an anti-stream pick.
I would say I don't watch it but if you have 110 minutes to kill. But
there's got to be better ways to kill 110 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
the person who plays Mary, she looks like a model. Like she looks like a magazine model.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like one of the brides from Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Who are models?
Tyler gave this 1.5 stars on Letterboxd, and the average rating's 2.5.
Yeah.
Highest number of ratings is 3 stars, and then 2 stars.
This is on Netflix.
Yeah.
Just in time for Christmas, December 6th.
Mm-hmm. And then I watched The Holdovers.
Cool.
Fucking love that movie.
That's my last movie of the year I watched.
I love that movie.
So
and
good.
I don't know, I was thinking about this on the way here, like why I have an apprehension to Paul Giamatti movies, because I always end up loving them.
Yeah.
But every time I see him like a part of a movie, I think to myself, it's Paul Giamatti, I don't care. And then I watch it and I'm just like, oh, that was a good movie.
The last movie I watched with Paul Giamatti was really good. This one looks like it sucks because it has Paul Giamatti in it.
Yeah.
You don't like Fred Claus?
God, that brings up I haven't heard that movie in a long time. That's the Vince Vaughn one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fucking A.
Is he in that?
Yeah, he plays one of the main characters. He plays the main character. He's Fred Claus.
No, he's Nick. He's Saint Nick.
He's Santa?
Vaughn
I
is?
think so.
No, he's
Vince
Fred.
Vaughn is Fred Claus.
Yeah,
Paul
he's
Giamatti's.
Paul
Giamatti's
Giamatti.
Saint Nick.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Holdovers was surprisingly really good.
That was your first watch?
Yeah.
It's a great vibe piece.
And I think what I really liked about it the most, because it takes place in the 70s, right? Or 60s, like somewhere in that time era, the old timey time era.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like they got like the set design really time accurate. It felt like I was in the time that they were portraying the movie. And I can't remember like the boy actor, but he did really well.
Dominic.
Yeah.
Sessa, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just a really, really well done movie. And I liked how you could tell his frustration of like being left behind in his prep school.
He really felt it, yeah.
And you,
that's fucked up, dude.
I thought it was too, and he couldn't go like on the helicopter with all the other kids because
I don't go on a helicopter.
I don't. That's how Kobe Bryant died. So yeah, so the holdovers
then COVID happened.
Yeah, we have 9/11, we have Kobe Bryant dying, and now the 19. I mean,
and now bird flu.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the bird flu.
Yeah.
Now, 2025 is shaping up to look like a great year. So that's all I got. So
cool, awesome.
Well, before we leave,
cool.
I got Bruce's message.
Before we leave,
Oh, Joseph. Heather says that impression was painful.
It looked like a hurt.
Painful.
Good.
Well, we can't wait to hear your Robin Williams impression.
Oh, I can't wait.
So Bruce emailed us December 22nd.
Yeah.
About tropes.
Movie tropes that we don't like.
Tropes that he doesn't like. He says, a modern trope that really annoys me is let me just change this real quick. A modern trope that really annoys me is a shot, often a transition shot, where the camera slowly turns upside down. Generally, this is used to show how things are going to get weird and twisted.
Or starts upside down and then follows a car down a road and flips up.
I remember noticing this in Polytechnique. I don't remember it in Polytechnique.
It definitely, a lot of that in that.
Did you watch Polytechnique?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Polytechnique and Hereditary, Midsommar. I feel like it's used quite a bit in horror movies lately. An offshoot of this would be the gratuitous drone shots, often of cars driving through woods or coming across roads. That's the top-down shot, I imagine, of cars just driving through tall trees.
Yeah.
Also, bad guys / villains wearing masks and tilting their heads.
I hate that much.
That's so cringe-inducing.
What is that exactly?
So think about in Us, the little kid. There's the big burn.
Sideways.
Yeah, they go.
They're
like, I'm twisted. Look
or
at
like
me,
what?
I'm
Or a
dangerous."
perfect example in the Dark Knight in the beginning, the bank heist scene where the Joker does.
He does it just a little bit. It's not for him. It's not gratuitous. I feel like that.
It's not gratuitous.
It's not a horror movie.
It's still.
Yeah, there's a. I think of that sometimes when I'm watching a horror movie and I see them do the head twist.
I just like,
and I'm like, is the director saying that's too much twist? Now tweak your head just to the side,
just a little bit.
Yeah, like you're trying.
I want the head tweak.
Yeah, I want your head to nod to the left.
Yeah, just a little bit. Monsters or creepy characters crab walking. That's like possession movies and stuff. Yeah. A character cutting vegetables always cuts their own hand. And then I'm sure there are a lot more things. But yeah.
Those are good ones.
Yeah, those are good
I didn't
ones.
even think. It's like you don't even really think about it, but he just put it in words.
That's true.
Yeah, he did.
Anything else, fellas? No, you good?
That's it.
Okay, so thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, in the chat, Michael, Steven, and Chris. And if you want to support us, you can do so on patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or just listen to us or watch us on the YouTube page. That helps too. Thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. It really means a lot. Until next time. Thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter about our year in review, upcoming movies from next year, and follow us later on in the week when we review
Fisher King.
That's right. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class, and please leave us a voicemail at 209-283-1716.
Follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right, we'll see y'all next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Please clap.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call!
Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimball to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class Movie Review Edition. I'm your host for this episode, Tyler.
I'm Joseph.
And I'm Peter.
And we are reviewing my pick on the Wheel of Destiny, Fisher King.
It could happen to anyone. One day you're on top of the world. The next day,
Let the bomb go!
you're in the world of the Fisher King. Now, Jack is about to do something he's never done before.
Isn't she a vision?
Help someone else.
I thought things would change for me.
I love this guy!
The Fisher King. Rated R.
I am glad that trailer was not as long as I thought it was going to be.
I found a 30-second
I
trailer.
was just like, oh, man, really? So Fisher King, for those who don't know, it's about a former radio shock jock and a homeless man in Manhattan that embark on a whimsical journey in Terry Gilliam's 1991 fantasy comedy drama. The two men are unknowingly linked by their pasts and help each other on a quest for the Holy Grail. The Fisher King is a direct adaptation of Percival, The Story of the Grail, a 12th century Arthurian book by Chrétien de Troyes. The film features Jeff Bridges and Robin Williams. I'm not going to read the last prefix of that sentence because it says in two of their most brilliant roles, which I completely disagree with.
Okay.
However, yeah, this was something. This was something. So let's just jump into some initial thoughts. Joseph, what did you think of The Fisher King?
Well, I didn't know it was directed by Terry Gilliam going into it.
Me neither.
So I was surprised by that, and I was kind of excited about it. We reviewed Brazil a while ago, and I really enjoyed that.
Several years ago.
Weird that we've reviewed 2 Gilliam movies on this show.
Yeah.
Of all the directors we've doubled up on.
I'm sure there's been others.
Yeah, there's been, I think, one or two. Nolan, I think.
Eggers.
Did we review The Witch? We did review The Lighthouse.
We did the Witch and the Lighthouse.
The Witch,
yeah.
the Lighthouse,
Witch
the Lighthouse
was episode
part
2,
two.
I think.
Yeah. So yeah, Fisher King. No idea what it was about at all going into it. So I was just kind of like blank canvas, no expectations. And start off Jeff Bridges being the shock jock, sort of asshole, like successful asshole.
Yeah.
In the late 80s / early 90s. It kind of had a little bit of like a noir type of vibe in the beginning with like a voiceover, and like the music, not necessarily like the lighting or anything like that. That's just the vibe I got from the elements of noir into that. And then and very Gilliam-esque, there's a lot of angled shots, a lot of wide camera movements,
Dutch angles,
that fit into the story. And then the inciting incident, I guess, of the whole thing where Jeff Bridges, his character, Jack Lucas, right?
Yeah.
Fall from grace, is someone who becomes guilt-ridden and ends up working at a rental video store. Was an interesting turn in the very, very beginning of the movie. And it was a shocking event in which causes that to happen. And overall, like, I had, like I said, no expectations. And I think that by the end of it, I actually ended up kind of liking it. Maybe not a whole lot, but I thought it was pretty good. And the sort of wild Robin Williams performance was definitely like unhinged and crazy. But when he goes into those like episodes where he's like confronting the Red Knight, it was kind of scary, and just him trying to deal with his own trauma and then like the relationship between them and how they're sort of connected was really interesting. And I like that story element and making them sort of be responsible for each other in a way in the story. And when we finally get the context of everything and you see the flashback, you kind of start sympathizing more with what's his name? Perry. Perry. And Jeff Bridges, I think, his character Jack Lucas was a real piece of shit.
Oh yeah,
for a lot of the movie.
Yeah,
even when he goes back to the hospital after Perry gets beaten up.
Yeah,
and he's just like hanging on by a thread. He's still that, and when he gets his redemption and he's back in hanging out with David Hyde Pierce,
immediately he breaks up with his girlfriend who floated him the whole time. He was
immediately
homeless.
Yeah, just like, oh, he is just
like the next sentence.
Yeah,
he is just a terrible person.
Yeah,
at heart. And then he has another sort of redemption arc after that.
Yeah,
and they end up by the very end of the movie, the very last sequence, comes back a little full circle a little bit.
Yeah,
and I liked it. I liked the way the story was written, and I liked the performances of the two leads, and especially the love interest. I thought she did a really good job, and I believe she was even she won an Oscar for it or nominated.
Interesting
for it, because she was eclectic herself. Mercedes Rule, the Jeff Bridges' girlfriend, she won Best Actress in a Supporting Role for this movie.
Got it.
And then
interesting. I wouldn't have expected that as an Oscar-winning performance, but it was good.
Robin Williams was nominated Best Writing or Best Screenplay, Best Art Direction, and Best Music.
Interesting.
We're all up for Oscars. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. I don't think I liked it quite as much as like Brazil, but seeing the setting and like having just gone to New York, I was like, hey, I walked right by that statue.
Yeah,
It was. I know like tons of movies and shows are set in New York, but it was just like cool to actually now have that environmental context. There. But yeah, I liked it.
Cool. Pete, I know this wasn't your first time watching it, and you said you didn't like it the first time. Are you warm to it now?
Well, I'm gonna say ostensibly this is my first time watching because I don't remember almost any of it.
Huh.
I remember the scene where he tries to give him a bunch of money, and then he gives it up to another homeless guy, and I remember the characters, but not the motivations, and I don't remember the inciting incident of the whole thing. I don't remember why. Don't even remember Jeff Bridges' character being cast out from society. Like, I thought he was in total good standing the whole time in my mind. So I essentially am rewatching this for the first time, and I thought it was great. I really liked it. Yeah, I loved the characters. I think it's a perfect role for Robin Williams because he's manic and frenetic, and he's supposed to be charming, but also super weird and a lot. Like, he's supposed to be a lot. He's supposed to be hard to handle. And when he gets hooked up with Amanda Plummer's character, she's a weirdo, and they match each other's freak in a very real way.
Yeah.
So he was perfect in the role. Jeff Bridges was perfect as that total douchebag, shock jock radio host. And I have to imagine he used somewhere between a cross between Howard Stern and Tom Likas. That he's
that's what I thought.
Over the top, misogynistic sort of mentality with Tom Likas, but also just using people for the benefit of the show, like Howard Stern. Like, I think he's more mean spirited than Howard Stern.
Yeah,
I think Howard Stern just likes to let things play out on their own and like just provide commentary, but not push things. Where like Likas is maybe like them two plus Opie and Anthony. Like a cosmic gangbang of those three douchebags.
And that's a new word or a new phrase. Cosmic gangbang. Nice.
But I thought that the storyline was interesting, and it's funny because maybe it's because I do remember some of when I watched it the first time. But he's giving the guy, he's like, it's us versus them, man. Da, 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 da. And I was like, wouldn't it be wild if that guy just went out and like killed a bunch of people? And then that's what happens. That's the inciting incident. And the thing I really like about Gilliam is that he's like cooking with all the spices. He's like, his spice levels to the fucking roof. Yeah. All the time. Yeah. You know, a person is having a mental breakdown. They are literally flopping around like a fish in the middle of the street, you know? Yeah. The guy has got a vision of something terrible happening. It's this psychotic, absolute menacing red knight. Yeah. You know, and I think this is I think Brazil was more impressive from like a set perspective because it's like they fully built all these sets, but and it looked very liminal and strange and whatever. But this felt more grounded in a reality, and it felt like something that could actually happen. It just made you, the way that he shoots it with that Dutch angles, constant zoom ins. You're like, it's like I watched Amelie, rewatched Amelie this week too, and talk about it for streaming picks. But that guy Jean-Pierre Jeunet is very similar. Who he's got that, like, it's almost like the camera's like always right up in the like the main character's face, or the character on screen. Doesn't even have to be the main character. But the way he shoots it, it makes you feel almost a little gross. Like you're so connected to these people, and when it's a douchebag character like Jeff Bridges, you feel attached to that person. And it makes him feel even more gross because you're like right next to him. It's not like, ooh, look at that douchebag over there. It's like I'm lockstep with him. I'm shoulder to shoulder on the subway with this asshole, you know? Yeah. So I liked that. I thought it was, I didn't quite understand. I thought there was going to be a little bit more when he starts falling for Amanda Plummer. Yeah. And you're like, wouldn't he be mourning his wife still? There's no conversation about, it's too soon. Da, 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 da. Oh, you know what I mean? They kind of gloss over that, and I feel like that was a missed opportunity in the screenplay, because the whole reason why he is the way he is because of the trauma that he witnessed. And when you see the actual trauma, it's really, really traumatic. Yeah. Like you use the euphemism blowing someone's brains out. Yeah. In this, it's actually
visceral.
It's visualized. And it's not like, again, it's not like, because of the way they shoot it, it's not like it's happening to somebody over there. They're having a face-to-face conversation when she gets destroyed. Yeah. And what's left of her head is all over his face. Yeah. And you're like, holy shit. No wonder this guy's lost his marbles. Yeah. So I thought it was very effective. I thought it was all good. It had some turns which I didn't expect. The fact that he turns on his girlfriend so quickly after he comes back into in his mind back into power was like, yeah, what a dick. And I kind of wish they would have just let him be an asshole and fail a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's like he makes that turn so quickly, and then within a week or two or a couple of days or whatever it is, you don't get the exact timeline. He's back to her again and like tail between his legs and repenting. And it's like, I don't know if I would. She should take him back. That's so egregious. You know? Yeah. So, anyways, really loved it. Thought it was great. I was expecting. I had my arms crossed, waiting to be underwhelmed, and I had a great time. So, good pick, Angie.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, when I first initially finished the movie, I thought, okay, what did I just watch? It felt like a fever dream. And then after sitting on it for a few hours, I'm a little bit more warmer to it. I think that there is a lot of ideas presented, like on a not existential level, but like more heady stuff that wasn't really explored. Like the implication of you blaming yourself for a mass murder. I felt like you didn't really get like the emotional impact that Jeff Bridges' character like would be going through if he really truly felt he was at fault for that. And then Robin Williams' character was just annoying as all hell. I wish they like peppered in a little bit more saged wisdom coming from his crazy antics instead of like just a few scenes. And then, yeah, I mean, I was kind of like, it like you said, Pete, like it felt like Gilliam was using all the spices and it felt a little overwhelming for me. But everyone did a great job in it. I thought like the performances were fine. I just thought that the direction in the story like felt a little disjointed, and it almost felt like he was holding back on some of the greater ideas of the story that he was presenting. And then the Red Knight thing was awesome. At first I wasn't like a fan of it, but like at the end of the movie when it reappears, like it makes sense. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it was a fine movie. And I mean, I'm pretty lukewarm on it. But I didn't hate it. I didn't have a bad time watching it. It really made me like, it really kept your attention though with a lot of like the way that the movie's directed. So yeah, The Fisher King was great.
It was great.
It was great.
I mean, I use that term loosely.
Yeah,
but
you use most words loosely.
Yeah, I do. So it was a fine film.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
Did you have high expectations?
The expectation I had was the story being completely different than it was.
What did you think the story was going to be about?
I thought a fish. He's a king.
The king of all the fishermen.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was gonna be more so about Robin Williams being more of the main focus of the movie, and him being like the king of like the homeless people in New York City,
king of the bums.
And somehow Jeff Bridges just stumbles upon, much like kind of like Under the Silver Lake with the Hobo King. Like I thought it was gonna go that route.
Got it.
Then where it did, and I think the story was fine. It's just, I think that the ideas that were presented weren't explored upon enough. And I agree with you too, Pete. He should not have gotten the girl in the end. That was totally an executive decision, like a Hollywood executive decision. Because I bet you Terry Gilliam was like, no, he doesn't get the girl in the end. And then the money makers are like, yeah, no, you can't have that kind of ending. Not in 1991.
They don't really say how much time. Did they say how much time has passed?
No, they don't.
I mean, I imagine it's like a few years.
You think so?
Yeah, because he's high, like riding high, Jack Lucas at his job.
Well, it does say 3
know.
years later at once.
Oh,
he
does?
falls
Oh, it does?
From, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I missed that
That's
part.
I just asked that.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, so it was 3 years later. Okay. So yeah, I mean, obviously there's different state like levels of grief, and like how long is too long? Is it do you move on at all? Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously a subjective thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about from the inciting incident till later?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant from the time that he gets back and then he tries to take his woman back.
Oh no.
Okay.
Well, like
I want to say it was 3 years. I thought it was.
I think it did say 3 years.
Yeah.
It did say 3 years later after that, after the shooting.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you're never not grieving, right? When somebody in your life passes away.
Different degrees of level, different degrees.
But like when you decide to move on and continue with your life, obviously he put a halt to his own life.
Yeah.
It's so much to a point where he doesn't even have a life.
Yeah.
Or his life anymore. I mean, it didn't bother me that much.
I don't think it's necessary. The timeline is not what bothered me. It's just the fact they didn't comment on it at all. You know, if his character wasn't that way because of the traumatic thing that happened, it would be different. It's like if his wife just died 3 years ago, and you know that has nothing to do with why now that he's crazy and homeless and all this kind of stuff. It wouldn't be worth mentioning. But at least one small line, you know, when he's putting the suit on him and he's like, you know, I don't know if I should be doing this.
You know, I'm over my wife dying.
I feel like maybe I'm betraying her. And he's like, it's been 3 years, man. You're fine. And then move on to the next thing. Just something small like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like he got triggered just by seeing like a reflection of himself, like after dropping off Lydia.
Maybe it's because that he's denying his entire past life, so he's not going to bring it up because he's not even. They said he has a different first name. His real name isn't even Perry.
Oh, what was it? It was
remember.
like Pierce. No, it wasn't. It was like Marvin or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter because it doesn't. I don't even know what
Percival Perry. Get it?
Yeah.
Perry with an A.
Yeah, which is weird.
I mean,
It's like Perry, like a sword fighting.
But yeah, I mean, I think that that there was some aspects of the movie where it's like we didn't even need to know the information. Like his whole role of being like the king of the hobos, like didn't have any effect on what the story was about to come to be. It could have just been him just catatonic and then him just like breaking out, and then Jeff Bridges comes along, his manic episode, and then that's where their adventures begin. And that's when I was saying, like, you know, I like the idea of Robin Williams jumping around, like, you know, with all of it. Like, kind of does in the movie, but I don't know. I really wanted to see more of Perry than Jeff Bridges' character. Jeff Bridges was just such a... he was good. He played a good role for what he was given, but like his character, I just was really not, I was interested in it, but since they didn't dive deep into like his psychosis of him just like quitting working and then just living with his girlfriend.
Did they say he quit? Or did he?
Or was he outcasted?
I don't think. Well,
I mean, maybe he just.
Pariah or something?
It could be everybody stopped listening to his show, and then the company was like, "Well, this is not making any money, so we can't have your show anymore."
But when he reaches back out to his agent, he's like, "Oh yeah, we'll start tomorrow." Almost like the demand's there. So I'm assuming because of that one detail, he did leave on his own accord, and he's clearly tortured. He stays up at night drinking Jack Daniels, looking at newspaper clippings, and basically blaming himself for it, which. Maybe for good reason. You should be blaming yourself.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't really.
It's not. He didn't do it, but he's basically preying on a mentally ill person. You have to know that person calling into your show, a regular. They know him by first name. He's trying to. The caller's trying to like tell him he met a gorgeous woman, and he immediately is negging him. Immediately he's telling him you'll never get that person. They're not like you. You're a worm. You're nothing. And then he's like, it's us versus them. Go do something about it.
Go do something about it.
I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, to some degree, it's like manslaughter at that almost. You know, being the.
It's like an accessory.
Yeah, like being the like instigator to that, like.
But he didn't explicitly direct him to go out and kill 7 people at a nightclub.
It didn't help.
So you're saying that Trump was not the reason for January 6th?
Well, I mean, I know we're not going to get into politics, but
okay.
That's our president you're talking about.
President-elect.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's in some. I think that because of the nature of his show, he could probably have a little bit more of a leeway of saying something like that. But
what does that have to do with anything? Just because he's said shitty things in the past, he's allowed to say it again in the future?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there was probably a producer would have been like, cut the line.
Mm-hmm.
But because
I don't think any of them. They were feeding into it. They were hooting and hollering and clapping their hands like freaking seals in the box. You know?
Yeah.
In the booth.
I like that shot though of him in this room, and it's almost like a cage. Like there's angled walls and this like huge shadow.
Yeah.
Weird. I mean, that's reminding me of anything. That scene reminded me of Brazil.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, Jeff Bridges has just like an olive oil of a voice.
Oh, it's great. It's so
like,
good.
I was like, who is this? This is Jeff Bridges' voice on a professional radio mic? Damn.
Do you guys actually think that they were going to go get the Grail?
What do you mean?
That was a funny part to me.
Because he says...
he does get the A Grail.
I know, but like at the beginning of the movie when he says, oh, you think the Holy Grail's up in,
it was like some
upper middle side or whatever.
Yeah, in Manhattan.
Upper East Side. And then he goes, yeah, that's my mission, is to go get it for God.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, are they going to break into this guy's house? I'm just trying to think about what's going to happen next.
Church?
It's not a church, it's a house.
It's a house, looks like a church.
It does.
Yeah.
It looks like a freaking
I'm pretty
museum
sure
or
it's
something.
probably a church, but...
I mean...
Oh, a castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a Catholic church.
It's that quote, I know filmmakers use subtext. Those filmmakers are cowards. That's Terry Gilliam putting the Holy Grail in a house shaped like a castle. He calls himself a knight. He sees the Red Knight.
Yeah.
Which is funny because he directed the Holy Grail. Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
He also played...
Monty Python.
Yeah, Monty Python, the Holy Grail. He also played Patsy the horse in the Holy Grail. And the old bridge keeper.
I keep forgetting he's from Monty Python.
Is your favorite color?
I keep forgetting that he comes from that.
Yeah.
Monty Python.
This is the first movie he directed that didn't have any Python members in the cast.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought that that whole sequence of events of him getting the Grail, I liked the build up to it, like him going into the mental hospital and he's just like, fine, I'll do it. I am not doing it for me. I'm doing it for you. Blah, blah, blah.
He had a whole like range of emotions.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not responsible for you. I don't care about you. To like, I'm going to do this for you.
Yeah. I like that, but what I didn't like was the hard cut of him dressed up like a homeless person with a grappling hook and a rope. It's like, where did he get all this? What was the motivation by changing his outfit?
He's dressed as Perry.
Yeah, he's wearing Perry's night outfit.
But why does he need that?
Well, because he's doing it for him.
Because he wants to blame Perry if he gets caught.
Yeah.
Oh, he's that much of a dick?
It wasn't me.
I didn't even put two and two together.
I don't know how that would work. He would get caught. He would get caught. It's not me. It was him.
They see
that man who's in a coma.
Yeah, it was him. I did.
Now who's crazy?
I did think when he puts the trophy on his chest.
Yeah.
The Grail. And he goes, all right, Perry, here you go, man. And he leaves. I thought the next morning, what if the cops were there and they're like, he did it. He's sleeping out at night and committing grand larceny and B&Es all over New York City.
I liked how once he finally he got into the castle, like, and he sees the billionaire like actively dying in his chair.
Is he dying?
He overdosed. He took a whole bottle of pills.
Oh, I thought he was just hella drunk and passed out.
And he's just like shaking away. He's like, "Come on, man!" It reminded me. He was like channeling his inner the dude. He's like, "Come on, man, wake up!" And
honestly,
then he looks around and he's like,
"This reminded me of like he's just a non-stoner, successful dude."
Yeah,
he's like the dude before he chilled out.
Yeah. That's a good point because then he made all his money in radio and then he just chilled out. Yeah.
There was a couple of lines in there where I'm like, he's very much channeling the dude.
Yeah.
And that was in 98, so that was 7 years later after this.
Oh, so he was channeling Jack Lucas for Lebowski.
That's right. I'm not Lebowski, man. I'm the dude. or his dudeness, or Duderino, if you're not into the brevity thing.
Yeah, I love that.
Or Duder.
Duder.
Before this, Jeff Bridges was in Texasville, The Fabulous Baker Boys, which was where he was discovered by Gilliam. And then afterwards, he did American Heart, The Vanishing Fearless, and one of my streaming picks, Blown Away, most recently. Love that. It was so good. And then before The Fisher King, Terry Gilliam had directed The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, and then Brazil just before that.
Oh, okay.
This was just before 12 Monkeys, which is funny because that's heavily features insane asylums as well.
Yeah.
And Gilliam really knows how to make an asylum seem really depressing.
Yes, he does.
Yes. I know inherently it's depressing, but
like
they could make it a little bit nicer.
It looks like hell.
Yeah, put some flowers in there or something.
That movie specifically is dystopian future along with Brazil.
12 Monkeys.
Yeah. It's like this is very bleak. Very bleak. It has like a different type of gritty. Like it's dirty.
Yeah.
It's very dirty.
It's like fisheye dirty.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, I really gotta applaud what
I've heard. Yeah, you really like to gulp right into the mic.
Sorry. I really liked the just sheer patience that the main character Jack has with Robin Williams, because I feel like no one would have the patience for this man to do anything.
Well, he feels guilty. That guilt is a hell of a thing.
I don't think it's strong enough though. I really don't think. I mean, I'm not going for realism in most movies that I watch, unless it's physical harm. But I don't know, man. Like, that's why I wish that they really went more into like the emotional turmoil that he was experiencing, and that could have probably, for myself, made a little bit more sense as to why he was so patient.
Well, he's suppressing those feelings.
Yeah,
for sure. Like throughout the whole movie, he's doing that. And then when he breaks down in the hospital talking to a comatose Perry, he goes through those different stages of like anger, and then
I really like that.
So like that was like his like, I feel like
inner
his snapped moment, where he like finally, let it out, I feel like, and decided like, I am a shitty person, and I'm going to do something to make it seem like I'm not as shitty.
And then he just goes back and becomes a shitty person. Were you guys shocked when he said he was going to break up with his woman?
Pretty sure we covered this already.
That happened before.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, I was shocked.
It happens. It happens after he gets the grail and he's like, I'm feeling good. Or wait, no, maybe
that's before.
I'm confusing the. Okay,
but no, it is shocking.
I remember my mouth was like, what the fuck?
When he hangs up, he's like, I got it, I got the job back, and then she's all excited and she starts saying, maybe we can get a bigger place.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, and he goes, we should talk, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if he broke up with her right now? What a dick move that would be. And then he does it. I'm like, oh my God, it's like I watched this movie before.
Yeah. It was a very sad scene because she's like, she's like pleading, kind of pleading with him and like letting him know her true feelings about him. And he's like, well, why do you want to be with someone like me? It's like, it was a sad scene to watch.
And then he ignored the Audrey Hepburn wannabe person in the courtyard when he's going in for that interview for a TV sitcom. He's like, Jack, don't you remember me? Don't you remember me, Jack? Why aren't you speaking to me?
Michael Jeter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a sad scene because you could see
Airbuds owner.
Yeah.
Because you could see
his little
and Mr. Jangles owner
candygram that he
impressive.
Yeah, it was very good.
Brianna looked over at me and she goes, "What would you do if one of your employees had like a singing gram come to them in the office like this? Like, let him finish and ask him to leave?
Yeah.
I gotta watch this thing.
What's a candygram?
Yeah. Ooh, I want one."
But yeah, that was cool. I like his character in this.
It's good
because he has a very kind of heartbreaking story. Because when he's like laying in Jack's lap or whatever, and he's like, "So did you like? Was it like a gradual thing,
decline?
or did you just like one day or?" And then it's almost like he
is being
just
a therapist.
No, Michael Jeter's character is like he becomes like lucid.
Yeah,
just all of a sudden, like he's just putting on an act the whole time, and then he becomes lucid. He's like, "Well, I was a singer in a club, and then one day I just realized something that like, what's the point of everything or whatever?"
And all of his friends,
and then watching all of my friends die as well.
Like I sound like a veteran.
They say that when a lot of ladies have that like kind of like kid voice, like a sexy baby voice.
Mm-hmm.
It could be an indication there was like sexual trauma in the past.
Really?
It's almost like you're reverting to this infantilized state, or you're whatever, or almost like you're rejecting yourself as your reality and substituting for a different personality. I feel in that moment when he becomes lucid and breaks that character, it rings true in that it's like there's this heavy trauma in his life.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to be myself. I want to be this other version of me.
Yeah.
And that is
a good singer.
That is very sad. Yeah, and dynamite singer, great legs.
Singer.
Yeah.
And then also we have
hey baby, those legs go all the way up or what?
We also have a really great I believe uncredited role with Tom Waits.
Tom Waits
in the bus station.
Yeah.
He had a pretty good monologue about I can't remember exactly what he said, but I remember it being like a really like insightful way of looking at the homeless people.
He was good.
In the city.
There's one part where somebody throws money at him and misses the cup, and he goes, "Man, fuck you, man." He didn't even look at you, and he says, "They're giving me money so they don't have to look at me."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's the first,
good old Tom Waits.
That's the first time that you see Jeff Bridges' character's wheels turning a little bit and making connections that
well, that's why like
I'm a shithead.
And I really liked how he runs out of that meeting with that bigwig about that TV sitcom he was gonna write for. He's like, get this, 3 crazy homeless people that we follow.
So, on that note, where did they? Is that just a funny thing that it's that the plot of this sitcom is exactly what he was dealing with?
Yeah, I think that was like the irony of it all.
But I mean, in the universe, how did they come up with that?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it just some writers that are being harassed by Robin Williams and his friends, and they're like, "Wouldn't this be funny to turn into a sitcom?" And they're just having a separate interaction with Perry and his friends.
I think it was kind of like a thing to make fun of back in the day. Like, wasn't that like a caricature of like real homeless people, like where they would be like kooky? And this was like after the Reagan years, where he got rid of the funding for like state institutions, so.
Let them all go.
So they just let them all go. So I think that just became like something in the media. I'm not sure. I didn't grow up in that era, but it's kind of sounds right. I was gonna say something.
No, I'm not saying why did they write that. I'm just saying the plot of the sitcom was exactly the characters that we just experienced for the last 45 minutes.
Oh,
so
okay.
In the universe, they're writing about real homeless people that live in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Or is it just a that makes Jeff Bridges' character go mad because he's like, fuck, really
that's an interesting thought. I don't know. I would imagine I would like to think like there would be like some like studio executive being like, you know what, I can make a sitcom about that man and that man too.
Yeah, that sounded like kind of a good Jeff Bridges impression right at the end there. Yeah, right. He kind of went. He has like that kind of lower, lower marbly voice. Yeah. We haven't to hear your Robin Williams impression.
I was hoping you guys would forget about that.
Yeah. So I want you to do the scene where what scene should we have him do for the Robin Williams impression?
I'm trying to even think.
I could do my least favorite scene is when Jeff Bridges is getting beaten up by those guys and they're gonna light him on fire.
I know.
By the way, one of those guys was the same actor who played Robin Williams' son in The Birdcage.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. How about this? On the quotes on IMDb.
Okay. Perfect.
There's 3 things in this world that you need: respect for all kinds of life, a nice bowel movement on a regular basis, and a navy blazer.
Oh, I do
Great
like
line.
that one.
Yeah, great
let
line.
me pull
Navy
that
blazer,
up.
perfect.
I'm gonna pull that up here really quick.
Pull what up?
The quote. I can't remember that verbatim.
It's one sentence.
Yeah, I can't do that. Come on.
You don't have to say it exactly, line for line.
No, I do. If I have to do it like that.
Okay.
Trying to think of his voice. You know,
So
there's three things. It's hard to get that like right pitch.
It reminds me of. Do you guys ever watch College Humor back in the day?
Yeah.
So there's this character, real life person, Amir on there. Amir
Jake and Amir.
Cohen. Yeah, Jake and Amir. So Amir and Streeter had a prank war that went back and forth for years, and it was like 7 or 8 pranks they would prank each other back and forth on. And one of them was that Streeter basically had him submit an audition tape for a fake like sketch comedy show, like an SNL type show, and had him do all these prompts and then record them, and then they played it at a staff meeting and had him walk in on it halfway through after everybody already seen the whole thing. And it was like the most ridiculous things. It was like a tuna sandwich about to get eaten. He's like, "Oh, don't eat me!" And then, but one of them was Robin Williams doing something, and his Robin Williams impression was painful.
Yeah, well,
so
get
Tyler,
ready.
go ahead and top that.
Yeah,
please.
get ready to get hurt. There's 3 things in the world that you need: respect of all kinds of life, a nice bowel movement on a regular basis, and a navy blazer.
Very good.
The energy was
very
right.
Good. Very good.
The energy was right.
I think it might be your best one yet, actually.
I know. I remember him doing an Obama one. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah. Tyler's Obama is like we're at the inauguration.
Hold on, I'm
gonna pull up an Obama quote.
Say the same thing, but Obama.
Well, there's 3 things in this world that you need: respect of all kinds of life, a nice bowel movement on a regular basis, and a navy blazer. Thank you, America.
Oh,
Barack Obama.
I could do this shit all day.
Wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it was. Honestly, that may actually be, unironically, your best impression. Very good.
Too bad it's racist.
How's it racist?
It's racist.
Dang it.
Dirty little mud grub.
Well,
Heather said in the chat the fact that she takes him back at the end is a reference to the original text, to the Percival story.
Oh.
So it makes sense within the context of like retelling the story that way. I don't know anything about Percival except for just broad strokes, Holy Grail.
Yeah.
But it is funny how Gilliam does the Holy Grail and then does this with the Holy Grail focused on it.
He likes the Holy Grail.
It's set in a nut house, in parts of it at least.
He also did Don Quixote.
Yeah, which is an inspiration for a lot of the quotes in this and a lot of the character sort of disillusionment. You know?
Which is, it's funny because, similar type of character in Don Quixote, and then he does that movie, Don Quixote.
Yeah.
Which is also weird.
I mean, and directors, they operate in themes that they're passionate about. And Nolan always, many times, focuses on like time loop aspects and sort of time mismanagement or time bending sort of stuff. So it wouldn't be outside the realm to do very similar projects as a director.
Yeah.
You guys caught the Nutcracker thing? Or it's not a Nutcracker. It's like a doll that he straps to his
Pinocchio.
Is it Pinocchio?
Yeah, it's Pinocchio.
He straps to his concrete
yes
shoes.
Concrete shoes. That was so funny. He's gonna kill himself.
And
He's
then
got the concrete shoes on.
And Robin has it at the end.
Yeah. That's a good one.
But yeah, the local toughs that are like beating like the
why are they beating up these homeless people
for what? No, he
Hey
gets
man,
in.
you should be in this neighborhood.
And they're under a bridge.
He says, we're sick of seeing you here.
Then stop coming over here.
And the guy, at the point where Perry gets beaten horribly, he was just wearing regular clothes. He could have been just some random person walking.
He deserved it.
He deserved it.
Him and Rick Moranis.
It reminded me, like, they're just going out setting homeless people on fire because they're just terrible people.
Oh, yeah.
And
I never even thought about it. The fact that they're just doing it because he's homeless.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't make 2 and 2 connect.
And Jeff Bridges was just a drunk. He wasn't even homeless.
It reminded me of Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yes.
But that's the extreme version, obviously.
Yeah.
Where they just kill homeless people and torture them for fun.
Yeah.
I think that, unfortunately,
about that
I think
movie.
there's a shitty subsection of humanity that does do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they features that in American Psycho.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you get a job? It's like,
you smell like shit.
Yeah, it's so. That's such a glib sort of thing to say to like a homeless person.
How about you get a job?
I know.
How about that?
What if you get a job, man? It's like, okay, well,
Like, oh, I'll just get a job.
I don't
I'll
have
just get a job.
clothes, a place to shower.
Yeah.
I'm fighting mental illness and substance abuse.
Yeah.
I'll just go apply for Target.
Yeah.
They'll probably hire me.
No,
Yeah.
you just apply for like FedEx. They'll take anyone with a pulse.
Tyler's a rival over there.
No, we're all brothers.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we are.
I guess some trivia. Howard Stern was the basis of comparison for the character, Jeff Bridges' character.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to base him on it, and the studio reached out to Stern to try to get some of his tapes for reference guides. And he said he was going to be a consultant, but after reading the script, he quit and he basically said, "Why would a DJ want to become homeless after so much publicity? I'd go back on even if I were in the middle of a vacation after that."
Oh God!
And he eventually denied giving them the reference tapes because they wanted to like pay him or something. There was some dispute or whatever, but ultimately no. James Cameron was slated to direct this, but he was doing Terminator 2 at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be an interesting change of events.
Kevin Kline was considered for the character of Jack Lucas, Jeff Bridges' character. Which I like Kevin Kline a lot, but I like the casting of this.
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams turned down What About Bob so he could do this movie.
I did know that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mercedes Rule and David Hyde Pierce both play radio. Well, David Hyde Pierce plays Frasier's brother, but Mercedes Rule is the board op in Frasier. She also is the mom in True Lies. That's where you might know her from, and also the mom in Big.
Oh,
yeah. So.
Oh yes.
Yep.
Yes.
When he comes down in the tiny underwear,
yeah,
she like threatens to kill him. What'd you do with my son? I'm like that. Oh, it's a terrifying implication. This grown adult comes down in your child's underwear.
I know.
Your young boy's underwear.
You know, you never really think about it because it's so whimsical, and then
I thought about it when I rewatched it. I was like, oh my God, what does she think happened? She must be a wreck for the week that he's gone or whatever.
How traumatizing that would be.
And then the writer of this movie, Richard LaGravenese, he's done a ton of stuff. He wrote The Ref, A Little Princess, The Bridges of Madison County, The Horse Whisperer, Beloved, Freedom Riders, Water for Elephants, Beautiful Creatures, Behind the Candelabra, and Disenchanted most recently, the sequel to Enchanted, that Amy Adams Disney-like movie.
Oh.
Yeah, which was a flop. So.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. I'm like going through the reviews on IMDb, like going through the low ratings.
Oh, I love doing
this
that.
one doesn't have any rating. It just says, I just think it's a funny review. Run out of ideas. This is what happens when Hollywood, what an irony, garbage would be more appropriate, runs out of ideas and uses the USA way of life to do films. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
Hollywood, more like garbage wood. Know what I'm saying? What if instead of the Fisher King, what if it was called the Boner King?
What is called Boner Island?
I'm about to have the hardest
Boner
right
King.
now.
Anyway.
Anything else?
No, I think we covered pretty much all of it.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. I gotta go to the
What about the Williams completely nude in the park?
Oh yeah,
that was unexpected.
You see his wang a little bit.
Just a little bit. They you could see like
you can see it's flopping.
Yeah, they blocked that.
They flagged the light.
Yeah,
and then they're both out there at the end.
Yeah, I like that. I did like that.
The fireworks at the end. Yeah, that was cool.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. Joseph, what would you grade Fisher King?
I can't remember what I gave Brazil, but I think an A-. I think. Yeah. I like the story. Took some turns I didn't expect after not expecting anything going into it. But yeah, overall, I liked it quite a bit.
I'll give it a B+. I think I liked it more than Joseph's, but my grade's lower.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know.
See, that doesn't have to.
Doesn't have to. Yeah. So I give it a B+. Yeah. Good production, good acting. I liked the Chinese food scene too. We didn't talk about that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was good. I Man, yeah, and we didn't talk about like their first interaction in the video store.
Right.
That was great. That was great. Well, everyone check out The Fisher King. I give this a solid A.
What?
Yeah.
You gave it.
We both definitely liked it more than you did.
Yeah.
You said it was a fine movie.
Yeah, it was. But after
ratings mean nothing.
You don't understand the journey I go through when reviewing movies.
I'm going through a hero's journey in my brain. Every time I review a movie.
This is the first conversation I've had all week.
No, it isn't. But no, like, so a lot of people who have been longtime listeners of the show and the two only friends that I have don't understand the way I grade, but I'm going to break it down to you because I think I can.
Please don't.
Next up. Save it for next
Yeah,
episode.
save it. I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Let's wrap this up.
All right. Time for the Wheel of Destiny.
Yeah. What? That's it? That's just an A? It's time for the wheel?
Yeah, A, time for the wheel. Let's go. Pete's got to make his water.
8 slots, 3 hosts. This is
I'm trying to get these episodes under an hour.
Of Destiny.
Hour each, average.
Yeah. All right, now it's time for the Wheel of Destiny. Fisher King's off the wheel.
Yes.
What are we replacing it with, Tyler?
We're replacing this movie. I don't know why I was stammering over myself. It's going to be Teeth.
Teeth. Huh?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Movie about a killer vagina.
Yes.
Oh, right.
I only chose it's for. I'm sorry, my phone froze. For 2007's Teeth. Yeah, it's a really. I can't remember if it's good or not, but I did watch it and remember enjoying it. Like,
it's got a fun premise.
Yeah.
I think that's an actual medical condition too. If you grow teeth in your hoo-ha.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So
medically accurate, like Human Centipede.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've only seen it once, so I would like to see it through a critical eye. So that's it.
I've been subjected to that disorder, and I've come up victorious. No, I no longer have teeth in my vagina. All right, let's recap the wheel. We have Teeth from Tyler, Killing of a Sacred Deer from Tyler, Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2 from Joseph, Mystery Men from Joseph, Flypaper from Angry Otter, Falling in Love Like in Movies from Pete, and Hell Comes to Frogtown from Pete. What was our last week's episode?
It was mine.
Okay, cool.
Wasn't it?
So it's not a double up. I think it was yours, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna spin this Wheel of
The
Destiny.
Hunt. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's it, The Hunt. And this is gonna be what we watch next week. Let's see here.
Solid spin.
A good lubed up spin there. Mystery Man.
Oh boy. Mystery Man.
Another Joseph episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mystery Man. Quick search if it's streaming anywhere.
Let's see.
It is streaming on Prime.
Heather says she loves herself some Mystery Men. So
yeah, I remember
it's a fun one.
Enjoying it a lot. Came out in 1999.
It's on Prime. Sweet.
Got quite a cast. So yeah, I'm excited.
I don't know any. Well, I know about it, but I haven't seen it. So cool. We'll watch that next week. Follow along on Amazon Prime. But thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or just watch or listen on the YouTube page. That helps too. Thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. It really means a lot. Until next time. Thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter. We talk about the Fisher King, and Tyler gives us 4 banger impressions.
Yeah.
Follow us next week as we review Mystery Man, streaming on Amazon Prime. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC Podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class, and leave us a voicemail at 209-283-1716.
Follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right, we'll see you on the YouTube page later.
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 Time to do karate chop.